And here, I pause and I ask you to, like Steve Jobs said, think different.
Hey guys, welcome back to Library of Wealth. Today we have the CEO of MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor, talking about the issues in the crypto industry today. Saylor feels that Bitcoin is the best option for anyone who lives in a nation where they cannot trust the bank or local currency. The problem with currency in the long run is that even the strongest coin will lose 99.9% of its value over the next 100 years. Money all over the world is losing up to 40% of its value now, and the only reason there is no panic in the US is because the CPI is being manipulated to create the lowest possible inflation number. According to the CEO of MicroStrategy, Bitcoin has been negatively impacted by vulnerabilities and other assets in a market that is largely unregulated. Saylor has been under fire many times in the past few months over falling prices, volatility, and uncertainty. Let's get right into the interview with Michael Saylor, who will give us his take on the current state of the Bitcoin market. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the content we do here on this channel. Let's get right into the video.
Today, we struggle with the challenge of authority. You know, Lord Acton said, absolute power corrupts absolutely. And the only difference between absolute power today and absolute power 10,000 years ago is today we have a company that listens to everything a billion people say. We have another company that answers the questions that 4 billion people ask. We have companies that deliver the food and all of the goods that you need to survive to hundreds of millions of people. We have one company that delivers all of the business software to 80 million corporations, indirectly serving billions and billions of employees. Now, I ask you the question, if you got ejected out of the third biggest country in the world, or if I denied you privileges to live in any of the 5 largest countries in the world, would your life go on? Probably. Now, what if you actually got canceled by Apple, Amazon, Facebook, Google tomorrow? The question is, would your life go on? Stop and think a little bit about what happens if they simply turned off your account, seized your photos, turned off your messages, took your documents. What if Microsoft just denied you access privileges? Could you run a business? Could you work? It's a big question. We've never had, I used to make the joke, Apple's the most valuable company in the world because there's never been a company in the world as valuable as Apple. It legitimately is the most valuable because it can change the lives of 1 billion people over the weekend by shipping some electricity. And that is not something we struggle with 100 years ago. So the question really is, what happens if this goes on? Companies get bigger, we got big tech, governments get bigger. As the companies get bigger, when the company serves 3 billion people, then that means one bureaucrat can make one phone call to that company and potentially turn off all of the information flowing to all 3 billion people over the weekend, right? This is it's a new idea, and it's a disturbing idea. The story of Atlas Shrugged is the story of individuals struggling against the collective, and eventually they realize it's a corrupt and a rigged game, and they can't succeed at it. And the solution that John Galt offers is to withdraw from the corrupt economy. So should we follow John Galt's example? Should we just withdraw from a corrupt economy? Can we? Well, obviously we haven't.
Saylor goes on to say that big banks are currently unable to issue stablecoins because they're unregistered securities, which puts a twist in the industry, but once licensed, will create a giant on-ramp in market capital. It would allow for tens of millions of transactions per day, which would provide massive potential for the crypto and stock markets.
In the 21st century, you can choose where to locate your body, your friends and family. You can choose where to locate your mind. You can spend your time on Twitch or Netflix or YouTube or Reddit or reading whatever you like there's infinite. You can be wherever you want to be with any group you want to be in cyberspace, in your head. You can also choose where to locate your business, your P&L. Where do you generate cash flow in order to pay your expenses? You want that to be a streaming YouTube channel? You want that to be a bakery on Venice Beach? You choose. There are consequences. And finally, you can choose where to place your wealth. In March of 2020, the world came to a grinding halt. Suddenly, billions of people woke up to the prospect of an economic collapse, losing faith in their institutions and their governments. On August 10th, MicroStrategy, struggling with this existential crisis, adopts the Bitcoin standard. At that point, I concluded the road to serfdom is working exponentially harder for a currency growing exponentially weaker. And we saw an escape from economic slavery in the form of what we thought was digital gold. But as I've explained, it turned out to be much more than digital gold. Bitcoin is something special. Galt's Gulch is the Bitcoin network. Rather than removing your labor from a corrupt economy, you should remove your money from a corrupt economy. Bitcoin's a protocol to create free ideas, free economies, and free assets beyond the control of corrupt institutions. It's a fast, fair, and equitable method to settle the differences of 8 billion people. We say in the Bitcoin world, fix the money, fix the world. Look, there's 20,000 cryptos. There's one that's 95% dominant, which is ethically sound, technically sound, economically sound. Bitcoin is reared in metal. It's the hardest substance in the universe. Most people don't know it. Most people are afraid of it. Never done that before. When we bought Bitcoin, we bought 250 million. No public company had ever bought any. People thought we were crazy. So then we bought another 175 million. People thought we were crazy. Then we bought 600 million more. People said, you can't stand on it. It'll destroy you. It's like standing on a bridge made of steel. And I concluded, it's the perfect engineered material to solve our problem, but people are living in fear. And how are we going to get them to not be fearful? And I was reminded of Andrew Carnegie's example. It's like build the bridge, go stand out in the middle of the bridge. You build an airplane, fly the airplane. Show people that it's not going to break. That's what MicroStrategy did. We said, well, if it's good for 100 million, it's good for $1 billion. If it's good for $1 billion, we might as well go for 4 billion. Right? And at some point, people will realize that they have more to fear by not embracing this technology than by embracing it. Right now, it's a $400 billion asset. There are $400 trillion of other assets floating around in our current fiat system. They're leaking energy, they're corrupt, they're inefficient, they're controlled by the collective. Bitcoin's a union. The union gets more powerful as more people join. And in the war for the future of money, it's going to be won with money. As the money moves into the network, the monetary union gets more powerful. Everybody that joins the network has that much more power. And your only hope against the oppressive force of the collective is to unionize your own activities and organize your activities with people of like ideology that believe as you believe.
Saylor says even educated people that have been in the digital asset industry for over a decade don't understand that cryptocurrency is digital energy. They have such a strong bias towards their point of view that they're unwilling to accept new ideas, especially when it comes to their financial portfolio. He says that most people don't have an idea of what money or property is, and if you call crypto digital property of money, they wouldn't be able to understand. Saylor adds that the best grounding to understand what crypto should be is aeronautical engineering, because they must master computer science, mechanical engineering, and much more, which computer scientists find inconvenient. What do you guys think about Michael Saylor's opinion on where digital and fiat money is currently heading in today's financial industry? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. This is Library of Wealth. We'll see you in the next video.